This is the Umi Emax Mini smartphone, which arrives extremely smartly boxed and well presented in this silverized cardboard box with a further black packing box inside, which opens up to reveal the phone, USB charging cable and a European plug. A British plug is also provided, plus a very basic starter guide. And this is the phone. It's very, very slim, very well made, nice and smoothly finished. It has this grooved back, camera flash and all the usuals such as micro USB charging point and stereo speakers, which you don't often see on many phones, certainly not in this price range, and a 3.5mm jack socket which can be used either for headphones or attaching an external speaker. It has a removable back giving access to the battery, and it's quite easy to remove. It does help to have sharp nails though. So technically this battery should be removable, but in practice it isn't. There are actually screws that you would have to remove, which is a bit of an oversight maybe, because it would have been nice to have a use of replaceable battery. But not the end of the world. Space for SIM card there, and a second SIM card, both of which can be used independently, so one can be allocated to data, another for calls, whichever works out most economic, and a micro SD card slot there, which will support up to 64 gigabytes, which is quite impressive. So let's switch it on and take a look at the startup time. It's volume rocker, volume up there, volume down, and this is the power button. So let's see how long it takes to power up. It's kicking in now with the Android on the screen. It's not the speediest phone. There we go, ready to go. Let's take a look at some of the settings. Swipe down to get the menus, and then the settings menus. You can connect to Wi-Fi, which is usually pretty quick. Identified connected, certainly can't grumble at that for speed. It's got Bluetooth. As I said, it can accommodate 2 SIM cards, although I haven't actually got any installed just at the moment. You can measure data usage. It also supports gestures such as turn over to activate snooze, and you can set it up with various gestures which you can customise yourself. The display is absolutely superb on this. At the moment it's set to its brightest mode, but you can adjust that to pretty much any level to suit. I like it nice and bright because the screen is really a main feature of this phone. Go back and look at some of the other settings. It's all really very, very straightforward. Battery shows how long the phone's been running for, 4 minutes. The apps are good on this phone because there's absolutely no bloatware. Take note Samsung and some of the other manufacturers. I've downloaded a few myself. And this button here opens all the apps. I've downloaded Chrome, Gmail and Facebook, a few things that I like to use myself. But there's plenty of space on this phone to download whatever you like. It's also compatible with British apps such as BT Wi-Fi, for example, which is something I use a lot, particularly as we're in an area without very much mobile reception, and I tend to rely on that quite a bit. But it's very, very easy to use, and all the things you'd expect to find are here. Calculator, calendar, camera, even a compass. Again, not many phones have these, so you have to download them as a separate app, but it's already there for you. There's a music player for playing music files, and one thing you'll notice with this phone is the music player is very good thanks to these stereo speakers. I'll just play a track just as an example.
Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn my back and slam the door.
As you heard then, the volume is pretty good as well.
Let it go, let it go.
You can adjust with the rocker switch. Go back to the list. One thing I'll notice with this phone, which is a bit unusual, is the back button is on this side. Normally I'm used to it being on that side, and I have to keep remembering to actually tap on this side to go back a screen. It's not quite conventional, but it's a habit you can easily adapt to and change. The camera on this phone is one of its best features. It's autofocus, it has many settings, and it's also a quick one as well. And there's even a scanner here. But I do have one gripe with it. You can only take photos in either 10 megapixel size or 13, and I like to take a lot of photos and send them via Wi-Fi or email to upload them, and it's going to eat into my data quite a lot with that, so I'm a bit disappointed that there isn't a 1 megapixel setting or 2 or 3, but just a smaller size. But the camera itself is very good, as is video, and I've got some photos loaded on here which I can quickly whiz through as samples. Got some hedgehogs, for example. Hedgehog in our garden. But there is just one slight quibble with this. There can be some purple tinging to outdoor photos. It doesn't happen on all of them, but it is there on a few. But it is a camera phone, so you can't expect perfection, although having said that, it is one of the best I've ever used, and you can see why when you look at the definition of these photos. The spikes are in perfect focus along with the fur. So very, very pleased with that. And the same applies to the videos as well. Video filming and playback is excellent on this camera. Here's one video I filmed just as a sample. This is a sample video clip from the phone, filmed indoors in artificial light. There's no video lamp with this particular phone. So that was just a sample video that I filmed while I was talking, and you can hear that it also picked up my voice, so which shows that it also has a very good microphone. This button here takes you to a list of the apps installed on the phone, including the few that I've added, and we'll just have a quick look at surfing the net to demonstrate how fast the phone is. One thing that has to be said though is the phone is faster itself than our internet connection. Go to the BBC News. So what I want to demonstrate really is how responsive the phone is. It has a very responsive touchscreen with superb clarity, always very responsive. In fact, everything about this phone is fast and responsive, and my view is it's a really good phone. The build quality is superb. It's got a nice tough screen at the front, and I note it's also fitted with a screen protector. It feels well made, it feels solid, which of course it is because it's got this metal main body to it, so if you drop it, which I don't advise anyway, it's actually the metal that gets hit or knocked, and this is one piece of metal that is the actual frame of the phone, and then the black plastic and the glass at the front are fixed onto that, which gives it a good stability and makes it a very strong, robust, and I have to say reliable phone. It's really proved itself during the time I've had it. In fact, I haven't really put it down because I really am very, very impressed with it. And I don't think anyone would be disappointed with it at all.